City of Mission Walkout. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for their attendance this evening, either in live or online. Today is February 8th, 2022. The introduction of the staff, Mr. Prince, the Executive Director, is in the background there. To my left side, you have Derek Spear, City Planner. Sitting in the audience in attendance, David Bent, Legal Counsel for the Plan Commission. To my right-hand side, Krista Hill, Senior Planner with the Planning Department, Chad Annis, Associate Planner, and Carrie Myers, our Administrative Planner. Carrie, if you would please call the roll.
Chris Jammeros.
Here.
Murray Wynn.
Here.
Woody Emmons. Chris Nabalski. Sam Cressy.
Here.
Nick Triola.
Here.
Chris Torty.
Here.
Dale Friedman.
Here.
Kathleen White Gadich.
Here.
Very good. I'd like to go over the, excuse me, is there a comment? I'd like to go over the meeting guidelines and the rules of procedure for the meeting. Thank you for choosing again. As we continue with the hybrid in-person and virtual meeting, we do have special procedures we need to follow tonight. Seating capacity is limited, so we ask those in attendance to only be in the chamber during your item and to leave following its completion. Given the format tonight, we're also everyone to be concise and not repetitive. If you have called or logged in virtually, we will need you to mute your phone or device. Please do so at this time. Thank you. There are multiple items for the meeting tonight. Before the start of the meeting, I will read the agenda so that those online understand the order of when the specific item will be heard. For each public hearing item, I will then ask the petitioner to present. If the petitioner is here in the building, they will come to the podium and state their name and address for the record and make their presentation. If the petitioner is attending virtually, they should unmute their phone at the time of presentation, then remute it following the presentation. Whenever anyone chooses to speak, you must state your name clearly before speaking. This means everyone, including the board, commission, staff, and the public. If you have already stated your address, or if you're a member of the board, commission, or staff, you do need not to state your address when speaking, just your name. I will ask those in favor to speak on that item. I will first ask those attending in the building to come and speak. Once they have spoken, I will ask those attending virtually to speak. At that time, please unmute your device and ask to be heard by stating your name and address before speaking. Since there is the possibility that multiple people may try to speak at one time, please be patient and let others go first. I will always ask multiple times and will pause between items to make sure everyone is heard. Similarly, I will then ask those in opposition to speak on that item. I will first ask those attending the meeting in person to come forward and speak. Once they have spoken, I will ask those attending virtually to speak. At that time, again, unmute your device and ask to be heard by stating your name and address. I will always ask multiple times and will pause between items to make sure everyone is heard. Following those who wish to speak against the resolutions as presented, I will give the petitioner the right of rebuttal. Once that rebuttal is complete, I will close the public hearing on the item. The board or the commission has the chance to ask questions and then vote on the item. During this process, the public is not allowed to participate unless called on, so if you're attending virtually, please make sure your devices are muted. Each vote will be done on a roll call vote. Since the Board of Commission members' name will each, prior to the meeting, they will not be stating their name when voting. At the end of the item, I'll identify the vote and whether the item passed or failed. I will then call for the next hearing item by reading it on the agenda. Therefore, I will get into the order of business for this evening, if I may. Our first is Resolution 2201, a resolution to amend the city's municipal riverfront district.
Mr. President, the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Murray. I need help. Has the commission members had a chance to examine the minutes of the meeting from our January 11th, 2022 meeting? Any comments? Mr.
I
If
move
not,
we approve minutes of January the 11th.
Commissioner Wynn,
Second.
second. Mr. Cressy, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 So, very good. On to the order of business for this evening, 2201, a resolution amending the city's municipal riverfront district. Next up will be 2201, a petition submitted to Annex 107, 119, and 123 Wayne Street. Next will be 2202, a petition by, again, to vacate the street on Wayne Street. The next item will be 2201, a request by Barak Group LLC seeking approval of the two-lot gates at Revere Wood subdivision. Next will be plat 2202, a request submitted by Mosier Development requesting approval of 48-lot Autumn Ridge subdivision. Next on the agenda, plat 2203, a request submitted by Moan LLC requesting a part of a 39-lot Autumn Ridge Phase 4 subdivision. Next, design review 2201, a request by Jester Realty seeking a waiver from the material design ordinance. Next, resolution 2202, a request by Compton Addy requesting a waiver from the Mishawaka Design Review Ordinance, architectural materials. And lastly, site plan 2201, a request for final site plan submitted by Development Management Group with retail sales, shooting range and instruction classrooms at 6424 Grape Road. And with that said, we will move on to the first order of the business, which is petition number 2201. A petition, or I'm sorry, yes, 2201, amending the City Municipal Riverfront District. If there's anyone here wishing to speak in favor of 2201, please step forward, give your name and address for the record.
Good evening, President, members of the Commission. Derek Spear, City Planner, offices on 201 here at City Hall. Just to give you a little bit of, this is for amending and expanding the City Municipal Riverfront District. And I want to start by giving you a little bit of background information for those that weren't on the Commission when the last time that this was amended. So the original boundary was established in 2004, and it was primarily just around the downtown area. It was in our central business district. And the reason for this district is it gave businesses the opportunity to take advantage of a state law where you can get a special river development district liquor license. And this was if you were within a certain distance, being 1,500 feet from a waterway. So it was created in 2004, and then we significantly expanded it just 4 years ago in 2018. And what we did is we went 1,500 feet from the floodway from both Judy Creek and from the St. Joseph River. And then we had some adjacent parks along the St. Joseph River and the golf course, because that's determined to be undevelopable land. So state law, you could go 1,500 feet from that. So at the time when we drew that, we thought we had maximized the area to give the most benefit for the city. After that was approved in 2018, we came back and realized that there were portions of the floodway along the St. Joseph River that were between basically the Twin Branch Dam on the west and then on the east side, Bittersweet Road. So there's an area through there where the actual waterway comes down, the edge of water comes down, but it doesn't match the floodway for some reason. That matches the flood fringe. So what we did is we took the flood fringe from that area and then drew it further out. So there you see some little highlighted areas down there that were further dips down, which those areas were not in the district before, as we approved 4 years ago. And this was in direct response. We have had one business owner that will now be within the district that wasn't. The Curb Cafe was not in here. They were just outside of it, believe it or not. The Dairy Queen, which is right on the other side of the street, their property, the former one hit it, and they were in it, and they were just outside of it. So there are a few properties along Lincoln Way that would actually get to be within this that are commercially zoned. That could take benefit of this. Most of them are houses, so there's not very many other restaurants or any other areas that could truly benefit from this. And the role of the Plan Commission in this is just to basically make sure it meets our comprehensive plan. This really doesn't relate to the sale of liquor. As far as bars and restaurants are concerned, they can be located in any areas that are zoned commercially within the city. So it's not in conflict with any of the comprehensive plan, or this doesn't have a direct relationship to the zoning districts. So the first part of this is, as I said, it has to come for you for resolution for approval, and then it has to go for both the redevelopment commission and the council for approval. So if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Spear. Any questions for Derek? Very good, thank you. Is there anyone else, either virtually or in the building, that would like to speak on Resolution 2201? Hearing none and seeing none, I'll make the same comment. Anyone who wishes to speak against Resolution 2201, to amend the City Municipal Riverfront District, please step up to the podium. Again, hearing none and seeing none, is there anyone virtually who would like to speak against the City Municipal Riverfront District rezoning, or amending the city limits, I'm sorry? Anyone wishing to speak against? If not, I'd like to take input from the commissioners. Any comments, concerns, questions? If not, I think a motion is in order.
I move we approve Resolution 2201.
Commissioner
Second.
Wynn, second by Commissioner Triola. Carrie, if you call the...
Chris Chamorros?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
yes,
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen White-Gaddish?
Yes.
and that passes 7-0. Moving on to business, petition 2202, a petition by the developer at 4506 Lincoln Way East LLC, Rebecca Parker as trustee for Rose Glen R. and Mavis H., Raymond Jaworski, Matthew Bender, Tiffany J. Gilbert, and Rousseau Properties LLC, seeking vacation of Wayne Street and unimproved Pennsylvania Avenue right-of-way for a planned adjacent car wash development, also known as the Drive and Shine Car Wash Development.
Chief,
Yes.
actually, that was 2202. 2201 is the rezoning.
Oh, gracious. Jumped ahead. Yep, what I said. I got them, they just don't work.
I understand. Thank you.
Back to 2201. Thank you for your consideration, everyone. A petition by Rebecca Parker as trustee, Rose Glenn and Mavis H., Raymond Jezuorski, and Matthew Bender requesting to rezone 107 Wayne, 119 Wayne, and 123 Wayne Street, R1 Single Family Residential District to C4 Automotive Oriented Commercial District. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of Resolution 2201? I got it this time. Please step forward and give your name and address, please.
Steve Ruby, Marsh Consulting, 315 West Jefferson, South Bend, Indiana, representing petitioners here, Matthew Bender, Raymond Jaworski, Rebecca Perkin, trustee of Glen and Mavis Rose. They're requesting a rezoning of properties, lots 107, 119, and 123 on Wayne Street from an R1 designation to a C4 automobile-oriented business. The proposed business is a Drive and Shine drive-through car wash and lube center. Currently, there is a all-star car wash on the facility. They're looking to expand the said property into these 3 lots and rezone them to the C4 designation to allow for a better circulation pattern within the parking lot, or within the Drive and Shine development, excuse me.
Very good. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? If not, thank you. Again, hearing on petition number 2201. Anyone who else is in favor of petition 2201, please step forward, give your name and address.
John Percini, 633 Windy Cove Court here in Mishawaka, Coldwell Banker Commercial. I want to just give you briefly, in speaking on both of these, a little background. I have some aerials that are a little larger that may be able to give you an idea. One of them lays out the property, and the other one is kind of the site plan. Mr. Tarani and I had been working on this for quite a while. We originally had met with Ken and kind of talked out about the area and that this car wash was old and trying to make this improvement. We began meeting with the neighbors, been doing this for about 4 or 5 months, and have worked out an agreement on the 3 properties. And then the one on the Lincoln Way on the corner, we kind of went back and forth a little bit, but they didn't really want to move. They'd put a lot of money in that. So we talked to them about, giving up half the road there and covering. We're going to, put a little asphalt cover over it, give them some screening. Went back to in the back end there to the north would have been the liquor store. We met with them and kind of, sharing that half, whatever got vacated there. So it's going to be a nice development. As you know, I live out in that area, so that thing's been pretty run down for a while. So it'll be you've all seen what Drive and Shine has done with their property, so they're pretty impressive. So he's made a big commitment here, and hopefully we can get all this approved and get rolling forward. Any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Pericini, Commissioners?
John, you said the house on Lincoln Way there that they just didn't want to sell. Sorry.
Yeah, we kind of went back and forth, and they had bought it, improved it, added on to it. He runs a business there. So, the numbers just didn't make a lot of sense for them to have to relocate, find what they wanted, and then what we, felt would make sense economically. So we began to work out. We actually had a, meeting, and Ken had recommended we meet with them, and we did that. Then they came back and met with the staff and kind of working through all that. So it looks, I think we're all set in there.
Okay.
So. And they, it does kind of fit their business model, and then, like I said, if they had to relocate, that was gonna be a little tougher to find the land and everything for that, so.
Very good. Any more
Are they
questions?
losing their access to the north side of the property with Wayne Street being vacated?
No, that's why we gave them, half of that'll be their drive.
Oh.
So they get half of the vacation, and we get half, and then Haji had agreed to pave that little section over for them, put a top coat on it, to be a fence there and some screening, and they wanted the trees there, and they were liking some of that improvement, so that gives them that access point.
Okay, thank you.
And it'll be private then, it won't be city street.
Any more questions?
You don't have to plow it.
Right. I threw that one in there. Thank you.
Once again, anyone wishing to speak in favor of petition 2201, please step forward to the podium. If not, anyone attending virtually would like to speak in favor of resolution 2201? If not, anyone wishing to speak against
Wait,
petition?
I think we have somebody speaking, but they're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Forgive me, am I unmuted now?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. Is it my turn to speak?
It is, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Haji Trani, President of Drive and Shine. As John said, we built first-class facilities, landscaped them very nicely. The operation that exists there, we've eyed it for a long time. It's really run down, as John said, and as many of you might have seen over the years. It's really antique in its presentation, and it's the way that it operates. And so our intention is to certainly knock that building down and start from scratch, build one with all brick and green glass, not dissimilar to the one that we have in Mishawaka off of Main and Douglas. And then as you know, we have many other units that we've built in the community, in Elkhart, in Niles, in South Bend, in Roseland. They all look similar with the same type of architecture. And we have made an agreement with the neighbor on the west of us to basically build a fence and put trees on their side, and in fact even sprinkle those trees from our operation, from our sprinkler system, so to provide them a buffer. Currently, the building is adjacent to them. There's no buffering. They look at it every day as cars go through it, and so this would be an improvement for them as well. And they like the concept and they're supportive of it. I don't know if they wrote you a letter or not, but they've basically told us that they support this. And that's all I have to say, unless you have any questions.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Tarani? Hearing none, thank you, sir. Again, anyone wishing to speak in favor, either in person or virtually, please step forward to the podium. If not, we'll move on to anyone who wishes in person to speak against petition 2201. Hearing none and seeing none, I will go to anybody attending virtually who would like to speak against petition 2201. If not, I'd like to close the hearing. Any comments by the commissioners? If not, a motion's in order.
I move to approve petition 22-01.
Second.
carry with the poll of the commissioners.
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathleen Whitegaddick?
Yes.
Yes. Petition 2201 passes 7-0. Moving on, I knew I'd get to 2202 eventually. Here we are again. Petition number 2202, a petition submitted by DEV 4506 Lincoln Way East, LLC. Rebecca Parker is trustee for Rose Glen R. and Mavis H. Raymond Jazorski, Matthew Bender, Tiffany Gilbert, and Rousseau Properties, LLC, seeking vacation of Wayne Street and unimproved Pennsylvania Avenue for right-of-way for planned adjacent car wash. At this time, I'd ask the petitioner to come forward.
Steve Ruby, at Marsh Consulting, 315 West Jefferson, South Bend, representing the petitioners DEV 40506, East Lincoln Way LLC, Rebecca Parker, trustee of Glen Rose and Mavis, Raymond Jazorski, Matthew Bender, Tiffany Gilbert, and Rusev Properties, seeking vacations of Wayne Street and unimproved Pennsylvania Avenue right-of-way, specifically referencing lots owned by DEV Development, get the right one here. Lots 27 through 33, owned by DEV 4506 Lincoln Way East, LLC, as well as lots 223, and 226, currently owned and under agreement to be purchased by DEV 4506 Lincoln Way East. We're seeking the vacation of both Wayne and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is an undeveloped portion of this. This is to allow for the rezoning as well as the development of the Drive and Shine facility located here as seen previously. This will allow the development to develop over the existing right-of-way that currently is there. Along with this development, there will be future replat of the properties to clean up any legal easements that exist on the properties outside of the high-tension power line that exists over the top.
Questions for Mr. Ruby? If not, thank you. At this time, anyone else wishing to speak in favor of petition 2202, please step forward to the podium. Give your name and address, please. Hearing none and seeing none. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to petition 2202, please step forward to the podium. Again, petition 2202, anyone wishing to speak against either in person or online? Hearing none and seeing none. Close the hearing. Any comments or concerns, questions from the commissioners? If not, call for the question.
I motion to approve petition 22-02.
Second.
Petition by Commissioner White and second by Mr. Cressy.
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen Whitegaddick?
Yes.
and that motion passes unanimously. Moving ahead, plat 2201, a request submitted by Barak Group LLC requesting approval of the two-lot The Gate at Reverewood subdivision. Anyone wishing to present in favor of the petition, please step forward.
Hello, Terry Lang from Lang, Feeney and Associates, Whiteman Group. Petition before you is the piece that's been vacant at the corner of 12th Street and Beacon for 25 years or more. The petition is to create two single-family home lots right there. We've been working with the engineering department on positioning the homes, providing sewer and water to them and accommodating the stormwater runoff to enlarge the existing basin right there as necessary for the two homes that are being developed. and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Questions for the petitioner? If not, thank you. Anyone else in attendance wishing to speak in favor of Plat 2201, please step forward to the podium at this time. Anyone attending virtually would like to speak in favor of Plat 2201? Hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to those opposed to Plat 2201. Anyone in attendance that wishes to speak against Plat 2201, please step forward, give your name and address, please.
Hello, Sarah Foldenauer, 1210 Pioneer Place. My question is mainly, how are we going to know that that's going to be enough drainage in the retention pond for those two houses and not going to flood the other houses behind there? Because that retention pond does tend to flood when we get a lot of rain.
Very good,
And that's without any houses or any other drainage. That's my concern.
very good. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Anyone else in attendance wishes to speak against Plat 2201, please step forward. That said, anyone attending virtually who would like to speak against Plat 2201, please identify yourself.
Colby Barkus from Blashley, Tabor, Bozick, and Hartman, and I'm speaking on behalf of Joshua Goldstein, who's at 1111 Canoe Landing Port. First off, may I have the name of the person who spoke against the lot again? I was unable to hear the audio.
I have it as Sarah Foldenauer, I believe. Yes, Sarah Foldenauer, sir.
All right. Other than asking for the name of the speaker, Joshua has a private property line dispute that in conversations with Barak Group today, he has indicated the division of the lot into two parcels as opposed to one parcel for family home building will not affect the private property dispute one way or the other. And so I don't have any other objection to the division at this time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parks. Is that basically we're going to allow the petitioner to present his side of the story, if you will, or whatever? Do you have anything?
Yes,
Yes.
I didn't speak with Mr. Lang specifically. I spoke to Tom DeMeester, who, as my understanding, maybe a project manager, and had indicated that whether it's one lot or two lots isn't going to affect the private property dispute.
Very good. Thank you Thank you very much. Anything further?
No.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Colby. Very good. At this time, anyone else wishing to speak virtually in opposition to Plat 2201, please identify yourself. If not, allow Mr. Lang to comment on the issues raised.
With regards to the drainage question that Sarah had, we will be designing the retention basin to satisfy the city's design requirements. We will have to be expanding the basin a little bit further to the east to accommodate the stormwater that will be coming off the two new homes that will be coming there, and that information will be provided to the engineering department to meet their standards. With regards to the property line dispute, as the petition came before the commission before, we had indicated that we had done a survey of the property. There was a fence line out there that somebody put up without having benefit of survey, and now they're finding out that they don't own what they thought they bought. And nothing I can do about that. They'll have to approach the developer if they want to purchase some property. But, technically, if you don't have the survey when you buy it, you don't know what you're getting.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Lang?
Thank you.
Hearing none and seeing none, close the public hearing on plat number 2201. Any comments, concerns, questions from the petitioners, or the commissioners? Jeez. If not at this time, a motion would be in order.
I move to approve plat 22-01.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Triola, second by Commissioner Wynn.
Chris
Carrie, if you-
Jamrose?
Thank you.
Yes.
Ray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torti?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen Whitegadich?
yes.
Yes. Yes.
And that motion passes unanimously. Moving on to plat number 2202, a request submitted by Mosier Development Company, LLC, requesting approval of the 48-lot Autumn Ridge Phase 3, Section 2 subdivision. Is there anyone at this time that would like to step forward and speak on plat 2202?
Evening, Rob Nichols with Avmarsh Consultants, 315 West Jefferson, South Bend. So I'm here representing the developer, in this case, Westview Capital LLC, otherwise known as Allen Edwin Homes. This first section where you see in the green in the middle there, Phase 3, Section 2, I'll speak on Phase 4 in a minute, but is about 11.5 acre parcel. We're proposing to divide it into 48 lots there. We accounted for drainage in the corner. We worked closely with the engineering department and the planning department to account for that. All the drainage will run to the south to the regional detention basin behind the Meyer store there. I'll keep it short and sweet, so if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any of the commissioners have any questions for Mr. Nichols? If not, anyone else wishing to speak in favor of plat 2202, please step forward to the podium and give your name and address. Hearing none and seeing none, anyone attending that would like to speak against plat 2202, please step forward. Hearing and seeing none, is there anyone attending virtually who would like to speak against plat 2202? Again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition to plat 2202? If not, we'll close the hearing. Any questions from the commissioners, concerns, comments? If not, a motion would be in order.
I move to approve plat 22-02.
Motion made by Commissioner Cressy.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Triola. Carrie, if you'd hold the commissioners.
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Ray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torti?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen Whitegadich?
Yes.
and that passes unanimously. Next up, plat 2203, a request submitted by Mo and LLC requesting approval of the 39-lot Autumn Ridge Phase 4 subdivision. This is plat 2203, requesting approval of the 39-lot Autumn Ridge Phase 4 subdivision. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of plat 2203, step forward, please.
Again, Rob Nichols with Avmarsh Consultants, 315 West Jefferson, South Bend. This plat is the proposed Phase 4 of Autumn Ridge, the north part there. Thank you for highlighting that. This section is 19 acres, be divided into 39 lots. As you can see, the developer is proposing to leave a green space buffer to the north of approximately 5 acres there between the said subdivision and Blair Hills. Additionally, this phase was of greater concern with stormwater drainage, of course, with the way the slope and the grade goes towards Blair Hills. We actually reduced the runoff area there. All that water is accounted for and runs to the south through a series of basins, and again, is connected to the regional detention basin to the south. We knew that was a concern from meeting with the residents to the north, and additionally from our past and the soils in the area. So we did take that into account. So again, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Mr. Nichols? If not, anyone else in attendance that would like to speak in favor of Plat 2203, please step forward to the podium. Again, hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on to anyone who wishes to speak in opposition to Plat 2203 in person. Please step forward. Once again, hearing none and seeing none, is there anyone virtually who would like to speak in opposition to Plat 2203?
Dale Deerdorf, 903 Handlebar Road.
Yes, sir, Mr. Deerdorf. Welcome.
Looking at the piece of paper that you've got up there, that's something we saw about 6 months ago. The new secondary plat actually shows that these lots are going to go all the way to the end of the green area. Yeah, there we go. So the lots there are the ones that they're putting in. You know, frankly, I agree with the development. I'm not sure I'm against it, but I'm concerned with the drainage. It's at least a 30-foot drop from that area where the street is to the east and to the north. They did have a conversation with the homeowners association back in May or so, and at the last meeting that this area was annexed, they said they would get back to the homeowners association, which they did not do since then. This is actually the first time that we've seen this information since last June. So I'm a little bit concerned with the lack of the conversation. And I'm also a little concerned with how exactly this is going to happen. You know, this is a big drop. It's a lot of water that comes down there. And to have all this water go the other way is going to be a major task. And I know that both the city engineering department and Abermarsh have worked together with this and have done I'm sure, a good job, but I'd just like to get into the weeds a little bit and understand how exactly is this going to happen, especially for the people up there on Wild Cherry Ridge who may actually be intercepting the water themselves between this area and Meyer. So I would like to get a little conversation going on that. But otherwise, I believe this is a good project. I would be supportive. I'm just concerned about some of the lack of communication and really looking into the weeds of how this particular development is going to be handled in the future.
Very good, Doctor. Thank you very much, sir. Any other concerns you would like the petitioner to address in his rebuttal?
That's all. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much, sir. Anyone else virtually that would like to speak in opposition to Plat 2203, please identify yourself. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to Plat 2203? If not, Mr. Nichols, you have the right of rebuttal. Please address some of Mr. Deerdorf's concerns.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Deerdorf and I spoke last week. We do share his concerns as well, so maybe to help elaborate on this without getting into the weeds of the drainage plan, you can see the two cul-de-sac heads there where they kind of end, where they run to the north. There's a significant amount of fill that'll be placed there to actually raise those cul-de-sacs to make sure we have enough grade to get the sanitary sewer in there. By raising those cul-de-sac heads, it in turn turns the slope back to the south. So the water that used to pitch and go to the north towards Blair Hills now comes to the south in that area. Additionally, due to the heavy soils in the area and prior concerns and problems in the other phases, there's additional infrastructure that we've designed to account for the runoff from the homes and their sump pumps, so that water makes it into a storm sewer as well and continues to the south. Additionally, the city did more due diligence, actually took our stormwater model, had it confirmed by a third party. We were able to answer questions, refine that, and make sure that we had extra redundancy in the system to account for this. So we did share, as well as the city shared, Mr. Durdorf concerns, and we tried to take those into account. So if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to try to get through them.
I actually live on Wild Cherry Ridge, and I know a lot of people in that subdivision have had water issues in their basement. So when you say the water isn't going to go to the north and it's going to go to the south, that was kind of concerning, but.
Yep, absolutely. So we account for the drainage within these subdivision areas, whether that's overland flow into the backyards through swales or pipes, or again into sump pumps that make their way into the basement. Water in the existing phases, I can't speak to that exactly, and if there's any impediments or fences that move the water, towards other people's homes. But in this case, we tried to take everything into account to make sure the water stayed within this subdivision, within this drainage area, and make it to that detention basin to the south.
The basin behind Meyer.
Yeah, behind Meyer. That basin, I should have said, will be expanded as well to help account for these additional flows. I wish Chris was here. He could have spoke on it too, since he used to live there.
Yeah.
Any more questions for Mr. Nichols? Thank you, sir. At this time, I'd like to close the public hearing on plat number 2203. This time, a motion would be in order.
I move that we approve plat 2203.
Motion made by Commissioner Wynn, seconded by Commissioner Triola.
Chris Jamrus? Yes. Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gaddich?
Yes.
And that passes 7-0 as well. Moving on, design review, 2201, a request submitted by LA Jester Realty LLC, requesting a waiver from the Mishawaka Design Review Ordinance, Section 105-76, Architectural Materials, and Section 105-77, Architectural Color Texture for new Smoothie King at 2405 Grape Road. This is design review 2201. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, please step forward to the podium, give your name and address.
Evening. My name is Joe DeZerla. I'm with Joseph A. DeZerla and Associates Architects. Here to represent Lauren Jester on this, actually. I just wanted to read something that I put together. I realize this is for waiver materials and color. I wrote this portion of this anyway to Krista Hill, senior planner here. I've been involved in this potential project since day one, put together existing Smoothie King building on Grape Road for Lauren a number of years ago. This is a franchise building, and there are thousands of these operating all over the country. The Hardy Board product is a cement board product, and is represented as the vertical multicolored panels illustrated on this building. And on the building, you can kind of see the gold panels, and some of the red with white stripes are also a little bit of the Hardy Board panels. My opinion, the cement board product is a good durable product and a good choice for our climate. I've used it on several buildings, the municipal building in Washington, almost the whole building's Hardy Board, and they haven't had any problem. It's been a number of years it's been on there, so it's a widely used product. The red color, mentioned in probably your bright colors, is also part of the franchised identity, and in my opinion, it's kind of well received in that particular rendering. And some of the buildings that I've seen, I know there's one in Chesterton that I've visited. Actually, the overage, at least in the materials, at least, and maybe the color, as far as I know, is less than 5% on 3 sides of the buildings. I know it's more on the one side, and we're dealing with the 4 sides. I understand that. And also, in my opinion, I think this building has a very distinctive and actually a current look. I'm kind of old school, so I mean, I think it's kind of a nice current look. So for me to say that is pretty good. So the in terms of bright colors, Obviously, everybody knows the existing buildings around there are a little bit interesting. I know there's big lots, car wash, and you know, Planet Fitness, they all have pretty bright colors. I think everybody's pretty aware of that. And kind of curious to see what your thoughts are. We're hoping for favorable response for the waiver request. But any questions, I can help answer them if I can.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. DeZerla? Not, thank you.
Okay.
Once again, design review number 2201. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of, please step forward to the podium. Hearing none and seeing none. Design review 2201. If anyone wishes to speak in opposition, please step forward. We'll move over to the virtual side of things. Design Review 2201. If anybody online would like to speak against Design Review 2201, please identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Lauren Jester. I'm representing LA Jester Realty. I just wanted to make note that the white stripes on the rear end of the building, those will no longer be there. They have discontinued those, just to let you know.
Okay, Ms. Jester, thank you. This is actually for those speaking in opposition to the plan, but thank you for the clarification.
Yep, that's all. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else attending virtually who would like to speak in opposition to Design Review 2201? If not, I'd like to close the public hearing. Now's the time for a motion for Design Review 2201.
Actually, I have a question.
Oh, I'm
for
sorry,
Lauren really
I'm sorry.
quickly.
Yes, Lauren, you still with us?
I am.
Lauren, what will be in place of the red and white stripes, do you know?
Just what it looks like on the front side of the building, it would just be the red.
Okay, solid red.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you very much. With that said, motion would be in order.
I motion to approve Design Review 22-01.
I will second that. Commissioner White Goddard. Second by myself.
Chris Jamrus?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torti?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen White Gaddich?
Yes.
and that passes unanimously as well. Moving on, Design Review 2202, a request submitted by Compton Addy requesting a waiver from the Mishawaka Design Review Ordinance, Section 105-76, Architectural Materials, and Section 105-77, Architectural Color Texture for a new gun range/retail store at 6424 Grape Road. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of Design Review 2202, please step forward to the podium and give your name and address, sir.
Good evening. Ken Knuckles with Development Management Group out of Nashville, Tennessee, representing Compton Addy, who are the folks with, they're going to contract to purchase this property and redevelop it for their tenant, who is Range USA. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with the property. It's the old Cinemark property where the movie theater was. It's about a 4.4 acre piece of property. The building has since been demolished there, but a lot of the parking lot and similar improvements are still there. Our project proposes to basically demolish everything else that's left on the property, come in with a new almost 15,000 square foot building, and all new parking, landscaping, lighting, everything. So complete redevelopment. The building itself, well, let me step back. The property is bounded, I guess, to the west immediately by Best Buy, or a commercial use. And I believe it's a motel or something to the east of it. And then to the rear of it, you've got kind of a wooded area back there, which I think is part of some of the stormwater that is kind of back there that's shared by several properties right there. The building is situated at the moment to where it's going to be probably more than 300 feet from Grape Road, or from, I'm sorry, West University. So it's going to be sitting very far off, back off the road. The front elevation actually is predominantly brick and split-face block on the base. And then there is a small amount of smooth-face block on the front that's got some of the orange coloring to it. The orange color is part of Range USA's national imaging. They've got roughly 30 locations, and they all, this is basically their corporate color that you'll see in pretty much every one of their locations. So I think we meet the requirements completely, I think, for the most part on the front elevation, which is the only wall really that's directly visible from a public street, being West University. The two side walls in the rear yard, or I'm sorry, the rear wall, have quite a bit more orange to them, but they're only visible from their adjacent parcels, not visible, highly visible from the street, particularly the back wall. And then we've got a lot of those materials back there which are more of a smooth face block versus a split face block. So we're asking for a waiver to allow, I guess, an increase to the smooth face block and to allow a larger percentage of the orange color on the side and dirt walls.
Very good. Question from the commissioners? If not, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in attendance wishes to speak in favor of design review 2202? If so, step forward, please. If not, is there anyone online virtually that would like to speak in favor of design review 2202? If not, is there anyone virtual or in attendance that would like to speak against design review 2202? Same question, is there anyone attending virtually that would like to speak against design review 2202? Hearing none, I'd like to close the public hearing. Comments, concerns, questions from the commissioners? If not, a motion is in order.
I motion to approve design review 22-02.
Motion made by Kathleen Weigotich, second by Murray Wynn. Poll the commissioners, please carry.
Chris Jamrose? Yes. Roy Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen Weigotich?
Yes.
and that passes unanimously as well. Moving on, site plan 2201, a request for the final site plan submitted by Development Management Group LLC for a 14,933 square foot building with retail gun sales, indoor shooting range, and instruction classes located at 6424 Grape Road. At this time, anyone wishing to speak in favor of site plan 2201, please step over to the podium.
Ken Knuckles again for Compton Addy. Kind of touched on most of this already, just to kind of introduce what we're doing here. It's a complete redevelopment of the property. So basically, when we're done, we're going to have, like, as I said a minute ago, all new parking, landscaping, lighting, all of that. So everything is being brought into compliance with current ordinances with regard to those particular zoning type items, as well as stormwater. Currently, the entire site is draining to a small storm easement just off the southeast corner back there. And it continues to outfall there, but we're going to be required to provide additional stormwater detention on site to help collect, treat before that discharges back to that existing drainage easement back there. We also have an area you can kind of see a large area there that Compton Addy kind of has earmarked for the possibility of putting another use there. And in that instance, they would come back before Planning Commission, obviously, but it would probably involve planning out a separate parcel there. They don't have anybody in particular that's looking at this. They've looked at a couple of different options, restaurants or others. But that is something that may occur in the future, but no immediate plans for that at all. But at that time, as I said, we'll most likely want to plat that out. We'll come back through the city with development plans for whatever it is that's proposed there. That's pretty much it.
Any questions from the commissioners? If not, this is a site plan hearing, so there is no public hearing. So I'm going to like to go ahead and close site plan 2201.
I would move that we approve site plan 22-01.
Motion by Commissioner Wynn,
Second.
second by Commissioner Triola. Carried.
Chris Jamros?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes,
Kathleen Whitegadge?
Yes.
and that passes unanimously. Thank you, sir.
You just have to, all the comments that were made, you have to just.
Planner Spear, any old business?
None.
You're fine. Any new business, sir?
None.
Privilege of the floor.
Dale, I have some new business. This is Chris Torty. I want to personally thank you for pitch hitting here at the last minute. Thank you so much, and you did a wonderful job.
A little tongue-tied here and there, but what the heck. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. If not, we're adjourned. It feels good, though, Chris.